So this little 15-year-old girl was literally set up by a group of people, including her own mother and a judge. Yeah. So this girl, her name is Linda. She's just a regular smegula, just like a regular 15-year-old girl. But she has a rough childhood. She's kind of the black sheep of the family, the scapegoat of the family. She is bullied by her siblings, neglected by her parents, and just like kind of like beat up by basically her whole family. Okay. So she is super excited to get older, grow up, and have a family of her own and get married and get the hell out of that toxic system. Right. So one day when she was 15 years old, her mom wakes her up and it's like, hey, you're going to have your appendix taken out. Okay. You need to have an appendectomy. It's scheduled and you're going to have this surgery. And so she's a 15-year-old girl. So she's like, okay, like, it's a pretty, what's it called? It's pretty routine procedure, right? So Linda, she goes ahead and has the surgery and, just moves on with her little teenage life. Years later, Linda is married and her husband are trying to have a child. They're trying to get pregnant. They're trying to start their family. But they're having a hard time, which is really weird for them because Linda's pretty young when she gets married. So they go to a doctor. The doctor runs a lot of tests. And of course, finds out about her medical history, that she had surgery when she was 15 and does regular ultrasounds to see what's going on inside of her body. But after the doctor's done running all those tests, he's kind of confused. And she goes to Linda and is like, so you said that you had your appendix removed when you were 15? And she's like, yeah, that's the surgery I had. The doctor says that, did you have any other surgeries? Have you had any other surgeries throughout your life? And Linda's like, nope, that's the only surgery I had, my appendix removal. So the doctor's kind of confused because he's like, there's a problem. So the doctor tells Linda that not only does she still have her appendix, also her tubes are tied. So she's been permanently sterilized. And soon she realizes what happened. You see, whenever Linda was 15, her mom, I'm just going to call her Toxic, okay? So Toxic, she took it upon herself to hire a lawyer and set up a secret meeting with a judge named Harold Stump. Throughout the secret meeting, Toxic is telling the judge, like, my daughter, she is slightly mentally disabled. Judge, I'm really worried about her because she seems to be hanging out with a lot of these older guys. She wants to stay out late all night. And I just don't know what to do. I don't want her to end up pregnant because she's not going to be able to take care of the baby. And so she decides to tell these lies to the judge. And the judge is like, okay, sounds good. So Judge Stump goes ahead and signs that order to sterilize her daughter. Linda has no idea about this. Linda was never given notice. There was no way for her to present evidence. There was no guardian ad litem. There was no hearing. There was no chance to appeal that order, nothing. There was literally no due process, okay? Because that's the process that's due for that major right being taken away, the right to have a family. But none of that was present, okay, at this meeting. So the judge signs off on that and Toxic is like, great, that's great. Gets her little order and 6 days later, the surgery is performed on Linda. Oh, one thing, but not only did the judge sign off on that sterilization surgery happening, he also signed off on an agreement to release any liability from the hospital, from the doctors, from basically anyone who was associated with this little transaction. He released their liability. They would not be able to be sued by Linda or anybody later after the surgery is performed, because that's not suspicious at all, right? So anyway, so they have that secret meeting and everything goes Toxic's way. And Linda eventually finds out all of this. And she's like so pissed. She's like upset. Her husband's mad. And they decide they're going to sue because this is a violation of her civil rights, her right to have a family. So they take this to federal court to sue the judge and everyone else who conspired with him and sue for monetary damages. So she files her case and right away it was dismissed. Right away. Because a lot of Americans don't realize this, but there's something called absolute judicial immunity. There's a concept that is created by the Supreme Court, which says that a judge cannot be sued for his official acts for monetary damages. That he can act maliciously, corruptly, wrongly, and he can't be sued for his official acts as a judge. But anyway, so yeah, it was thrown out right away. But ultimately, the Supreme Court decides to take this case. So after several weeks, they finally come back with a decision. So the Supreme Court says, even though what Judge Stump did was wrong, it didn't matter. He was a judge doing what judges are allowed to do. And so he is absolutely immune. Because Toxic came to the judge asking him to do a judge thing, which is to use his discretion to decide on a petition, that, yeah, he was actually performing an official act as a judge. And this is the law of the land today. Tell your friends. Tell your friends. If you're looking for easy to understand legal documents, check out the Pro Se blog Patreon. There you'll find a catalog of legal papers like motions and objections, videos where I break down certain legal documents. Plus, you'll find our new community chat room where we can support each other through state and federal court battles. Court is hard and pretty isolating, but with the right people around, it gets easier. Check out our Patreon today.